Alright, so who was the... I guess we'll just say someone who used to date. I mean, that's the truth. Sure, someone who used to date. We were in a relationship at one point. Kagumi's facial expression was hard to read and she remained silent. Why'd you bring her up anyway? Not every day we have a new student in our class, and such a striking foreigner at that. Striking's a nice way to put it. I'm a foreigner too, you know. Still here. Still exist. She looked me up and down, snickered, and said, yeah, sure. What the hell's that supposed to mean, eh? I know! Not only would my face not pass the Japanese, but now I was being denied the title of a proper gaijin as well. You always like this? I'm starting to lose my temper. You've arrived, wait here. Hey, why could you just blow me off? Like every other woman. Just in time, too, before I could open my mouth. Kagumi went into the teacher's room, and before I knew it, she was back with a large stack of paper. Carry. What, all of it? Couldn't see any way to carry the heap comfortably. What if we each carry half? Didn't you yourself volunteer to come along? And no, I didn't. The teacher sent me, actually, if you recall. If you are older than about 5 minutes, you would remember that. Fine, give it here. Kagumi attempted to take all of the papers from me at once. No way, that wouldn't do either. Which of us looked more pathetic now? Both. Spurred on my wounded pride, I walked fast, so the return trip took considerably less time. I dropped a mountain of papers onto the teacher's desk with a thud while Kagumi took her seat and returned to her usual window gazing. I guess no one deserves to be bullied, but man, I can almost understand those punks from yesterday. Maybe I should beat her up next. Judging by the clock, the bell was less than a minute away. Catherine's desk was empty. I turned to Michael, who sat next to me. Catherine, the new girl, she go somewhere? Don't know, wasn't really paying attention. Why? Never mind, no reason. Bummed, I sat down at my desk. Could she have somehow noticed that I opened her notebook? No way, Catherine wasn't even in the classroom at the time. Someone else may have noticed and told her. Did someone tell her? How long ago did she leave? I'm telling you, I don't know. He just said things like, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. He was in his own world. You talking about the new girl? I think she went to the principal. My classmate had overheard our conversation. Thanks. The chair beneath me felt like it was on fire. That's how badly I wanted to run after her. Why? What's the principal gonna do? You looked at her notebook. Whoop-de-doo. It's not a crime. But to what end? What was I going to tell her? As the bells sounded, my feet seemed to acquire a will of their own. They carried me to the door, then past the teacher and out into the hallway. Bye, teach. I'm not going to class. I turned the corner on a run and stopped. What the hell am I doing? Why all this? The school had gone silent, frozen still, as though in awe of the inescapable might of pure knowledge. I was slowly tiptoeing through the empty hallways towards the principal's office. If I were to run into one of the teachers now, I would have to explain myself all over again. On the other hand, it would be no better if I showed up at the office myself. Speaking of which, here it was. I pressed near to the door, but no sound was coming from the other side. Either they were playing the silent game or Catherine wasn't there. So what next? Or that person didn't know. They said they think, right? It was too late to go back to class. No, it's not. Just go back. Just be like, hey, I was in the shitter. Dropping a Mondo Deuce, bro. I wandered the empty hallways and didn't even notice how I ended up in the old wing. Our school had been repeatedly rebuilt. It first opened its doors right after the war, with new buildings added on as old ones fell into decay. What is going on at this school that it's constantly falling into decay and in the need to be rebuilt? This is like some bad anime. It's like our nation is constantly being barraged by war and aliens, so we have to rebuild every 6 months. Inefficient, if you ask me. Why not tear down the old structure first and build a new one in its place? Theoretically, there shouldn't have been anyone in this wing, but suddenly I heard music. A guitar! Play that funky music. The sound was coming from what? Judging by the plaque, was the old music classroom. I opened the door a crack. Ha! None other than Kobayashi Ellie. She was the last person I expected to find here. That son of a bitch. She did a fine job playing, though. The tune was nice, and the execution was equally good. I'm not going to tell her that. Not after everything that happened. Music, at least, was one area that I knew a thing or two about. Ellie herself seemed to be glowing with happiness, looking nothing like the prim princess I'd encountered in the principal's office this morning. Cool though this lyrical digression was, I certainly couldn't let a chance like this slip by. Well, who do we have here? The guitar went abruptly silent. My applause was the only sound interrupting the silence that had descended on the place. Ojo-sama, I didn't know you played the guitar too. Many emotions flickered across her face. Embarrassment, surprise, annoyance, resentment. You! Please pay no attention. Carry on. You! What are you doing here? I followed a beautiful siren song, but I never imagined it would be you, Ojo-sama. Enough! I blurted out, stood up abruptly, and froze, as if not knowing what to do. Hey, come on, don't be upset. I didn't realize you playing the guitar. Somehow I would associate you with the instrument. Now the violin, maybe. I can play violin too. It's pretty cool. Really? That's cool. Stop copying, bro. Aren't you in class? It's no mystery why I'm skipping. What about yourself? It is a mystery. It's why she asked. What a terrible detective. I'm not skipping. We have a break. Alright. This smirks. You don't have to make excuses, man. I'm not making excuses. You want to manage and watch your behavior. What were you doing at the principal's this morning? Pooping. I just felt like telling the principal what I really thought. Like crap on his desk. Dropped by for a cup of tea. In any case, it's none of your business. I wasn't trying to be rude, but that's exactly how it came out. Actually, it is my business. Seeing as my grandfather, I'm aware. Give me a surprised look. What? Secret? No, of course not. Even so, I heard a voice in the hallway. Hide! Ellie whispered anxiously. Why? You're on a break and I'm used to it. I said sardonically, albeit in a lower voice. She didn't answer, but was looking repeatedly. Must have had a reason. Alright, fine, I'll hide. I really don't want to cause any more trouble. That's going to need for me to intervene in any potential ways. Fine, except I don't see where we can hide here. In there! Ellie grabbed my hand and dragged me to a small door. Okay, I guess initially. Back here. The door opened to a cramped utility closet. What, here? I hesitated. The closet was definitely not roomy enough for 2 people. Get in already. Ellie clearly thought otherwise. Next thing I know, she shoved me inside and stepped in herself. Right? Great, we were now packed in like sardines, and this place reeked. Maybe it's just her. Maybe she stinks. Yet, perceptible through the stench of dampness, moldiness, and dust was the sweet aroma of Ellie's perfume. You smell just like a damp mold. Beautiful. A killer combination to say the least. Literally, you're gonna get like asthma or some kind of emphysema and die. Congratulations! The classroom door opened, several people entered. I heard something. You must have misheard the campus instead. The principal was talking to one of the teachers. I'm not hearing things. I may be getting on in years, but I'm still more than capable. Heavens no, campus instead. Ain't anything of the sort. I've been saying you need to retire now, you old bitch. Anyway, this ramshackle place should have been torn down long ago. It's probably just a ghost. I wouldn't question it too much. A third voice joined the conversation. This ramshackle place, as you called it. Let out a sigh so loud I could hear it clearly, even from the closet. I remember arriving here as a young teacher right after the war. Traded in my rifle for a pointer, you could say. Shocked, taking the place being used. Who would have guessed that our principal was so sentimental? But you probably shouldn't bring up the war. Japan's kind of not one of the good guys. I'm assuming you're talking about World War II. Japan's not really regarded as like one of the good guys in that. Ellie suddenly fidgeted. Naturally, anyone would be uncomfortable hiding in a cramped closet to a room even for one person. Or was she uncomfortable with me in particular? I just my gaze to Ellie. Of course, she was uncomfortable. But I desperately didn't want to have to be lectured by the principal again because of something just on it. Quiet. I hissed. I turned red like a boiled lobster and breathing into the grappling irregular. It was an awkward situation. It was for both of us and I was still trying to hang on. Because Ellie played the guitar didn't necessarily mean she had experience in the area of... I didn't finish the thought. The girl's scent hit my nose with new strength, making my head spin. It's like some kind of poison gas. I'm dying. Maybe she just farted. Though, who was I to pass judgment on her experience? Yes, I dated Catherine, but I got somewhat used to her, whereas here was a completely different girl standing next to me. True, this one is not Catherine. Not just next to, pressed against me. My heart started beating faster. I swallowed. Ellie looked up at me with a frightened look in her eyes. You look at me? I sighed in my mouth. She didn't respond, just kept fidgeting. The movements were now making the whole situation uncomfortable for me. I made a face that in my mind was was supposed to be quiet. Just understood. You were on the perfect continuous oration. And after all that, he talked of, this is our cultural heritage. It should be made into a museum. Certainly, Kama Sensei. Let's go now. There's a meeting coming up. Yes, forgive me. I get a bit carried away. The moment the door closed behind them, Ellie came flying out of the closet. I stepped out after her. I had to say something. A bit tight in there. She looked at me dumbfounded. Tight? Tight, you say? You pervert? You broke me all over. You jumped in with me. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch you at all. You broke me with your eyes, then. You couldn't see it? Feel it? I could feel your eyes on me. Well, calm down already, Wayne. You broke something with your eyes. Anyway, it was your idea to hide in there. Yes, but that's all there is to it. Ella's expression turned dreary and she lowered her gaze. I suppose it's unbefitting a young lady to behave like this, isn't it? She smiled sadly. I'm not the best person to give advice in these matters, but for what it's worth, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing the guitar. You listen to our music a lot, huh? Yes. That's good. It's good for you. This time her smile was more genuine. I don't see a problem. Just gonna do some bell announcing break time. I gotta go. See ya. Your final part of your smile was utterly disarming. I left stranded, standing alone inside a music room of the empty wing. Street girl. I mean, you're not one to really judge, okay? Let's be honest here. You know, Saint. This whole musical interlude made me entirely forget the reason I had wound up here in the first place. I'm looking for Catherine. I had absolutely no desire to go back to class where I could expect another scolding. Simply skipping was bad enough, but to have run out of the classroom right in front of the teacher? No, thank you. She tell you were taking a poop. I managed to slip out of the building unnoticed, and here I was, free as the wind, strolling down a sidewalk of one of Tokyo's central districts. I just wanted to chill out. This whole day had been a waste. The only thing I achieved was determining that Catherine had not written yesterday's note. The note. Unpleasant thoughts crept into my head. But if she didn't write it, who did? But it wasn't a prank. So what's going on? More had happened to me in the past day and a half than over the course of the past year and a half. The entire time, I hadn't really socialized with anyone except maybe Himetsu. Well, add that to Kyosuke and occasionally Michael. Now Catherine was back and there was Kagami and Ellie. What next? Was I going to turn into a magical girl? Dude, fingers crossed. As if by chance I ended up near a familiar bar. A couple rounds of beer were an absolute must right now. Hell yeah, fucking underage drinking, baby. Alright, relax, clear my head. Hello, I'm 12 years old. Please give me a beer. I don't know, I'm on character. I think like 16 or something. 16, 17, 18, but actually I don't know the drinking age at this time period in Japan. So maybe it's legal. I think it's like 20 now, but at this time period it may be legal. I don't know. The inside wasn't crowded, which made sense for the time of the day. People were supposed to be either at work or school. Like in that joke about the 3-story building in the hurricane. Even though I wasn't a stranger here, I always had a fake passport at the ready. Oh, okay. My dude's father worked in law enforcement and hooked me up at one point. The fucking cops got you a fake ID? What the hell? A little corrupt, don't you think? A little fucked up. There were lots of students at our school who had these passes to adult life. How could you prove it wasn't real? A document's a document. Especially when some insolent snot is shoving it in your face. Not to mention the bar's owner was Russian. Chuckling, he usually told people that he used to be a pirate who was shipwrecked off the coast of Japan. That was a tall tale, of course. Like most likely he was just a regular immigrant, like my parents. I sat down at the counter and ordered a beer. Hey, Koya, what's up? You're early today. Yeah, kind of worked out that way. Okay. Oh, what was the name of the MC in Everlasting Summer? No, it's Simeon. Never mind. I was thinking it was Koyat, but it's not. I think Koyat's from the Metro series. You're not going to get in trouble at school, are you? You know how strict they are about these things here. Do you know he's underage? You still just serving it to him? Fuck? I giggled nervously. Okay, I see. None of my business. A good bartender is invariably a good psychologist. It's a practical qualification for the job. Beer at this place was served in pint-sized mugs, which made me very happy. Squealing with pleasure after downing a tiny glass in one gulp was my thing. Yuck. I took a long pull. Catherine's back. The bartender raised his eyebrows and asked with unfeigned surprise, and what are you going to do now? At times I wondered if showing empathy to customers was something more than just professional skill for him. What can I do? She hasn't been overeager to talk, and neither have I. At any rate, I'm certain that I'm going to throw myself at her. So why is she back? Because of her mother's work, probably. She couldn't have come by herself, right? Most likely not. So I'm in this weird spot now. You know what they say? Life is like a zebra. A black stripe followed by a white stripe, then a black one again, and a white one again. Yep, and then the ass. Oh yeah, baby. You know what, Koya? Don't get down. He said encouragingly. You still have your whole life ahead of you. The two of you make up 100 times over yet, and if not, find another girl. Lots of them all over. The bartender spread out his arms, invitingly apprehensive looks from the few schoolgirls nestled at the table in the furthest corner of the room. Thanks for the comforting words. There's so much else besides that anyway. Life is a full swig, and each swig hits you on the head. Can you keep a glossary of sayings under the counter? The bar door flew open and a group of young people entered. Having immediately recognized among them the punks from the day before, I instinctively buried my face in the mug. Was I scared? So it seemed. I sat down at the table and ordered beer and cocktails for the girls. You know them? The bartender asked quietly, leaning in towards me. Wouldn't say I know them, but we've met. I gave him the occasional sidelong glance. I wondered if I should get up and leave. Did they look cowardly, though? Then again, to who? They hadn't even noticed me. No sooner did I think that than one of the guys got up and walked over to the counter. Hey, I know you. If you say so. He says calmly as possible without even sparing him a glance. I don't think you know who you're dealing with, Gaijin. I'm not dealing with anyone. So, was it you who punched my friend in the face yesterday? This is me, he deserved it. Really? Now we step outside for a little chat. I'm fucking drinking, bro. You can go step outside. Come on. Get out of it. I looked at the bartender, but he only shrugged. So, damn it. What did you do? Let's step outside. What could I do? Just walk home. Half a minute later, we were standing in the alley behind the bar. A couple older guys joined the school kids. Where did they come from? What's up now, are you? So the one I punched yesterday. I'll teach you to stand up for whores. I don't fucking... I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I apologize. I'll say anything. Just stop. Just don't touch me. Look at the girl. Wearing her cocktail with Mother Teresa. Well, what next? Gonna beat me up before it gets lunch? It's aggressive. Have your cool on. Do you to have one? I see the largest guy among them. You definitely got the punch on the thug. The older guys clenched their teeth, their expression hardening. What'd you say? Let's get it over with already. Thought flashed in my mind. What if I struck first? At least I retain a smidgen of self-respect. Maybe an option. Fight. I told you there's something there. I had no time to decide. A strong shove in the back threw me to the ground. Hello. The blows hit hard, but they didn't go on for long. I curled up the ball, covering my head with my arms. It hurt. I just had a couple of drinks in you. That kind of dulls the pain, right? Numbs the senses. By the time I recovered my senses, the bastard had vanished without a trace. What a shame. I got up slowly and felt myself all over. Nothing was broken, it seemed. My face was mostly intact as well, except for a black eye. I returned to the bar and sat down in the same seat. I no longer felt like carrying a cordial conversation with the bartender, although what could he have done? Stand at my side and fight? Call the police? Nonsense. Yeah, call the police. Hey, by the way, there's some underage kids that I'm allowing to drink in my bar. They're fighting. Hey there. He pointed off to the side with his eyes. I turned my head. Sitting just a couple of meters away from me was Catherine. You fucking delinquent, underage drinking? I guess. I said a little while later after waiting for her to start the conversation. Bad chance of that happening. She talked to me. Catherine replied indifferently. Well, that's fair. I shifted to a closer seat while she ordered a cocktail for herself. Went to the face. I just fought off like 12 bears. It was fucking cool. Nothing serious. She wasn't buying it. I fell. Face first on the concrete several times in a row. Yeah, I got lucky, but I'll get it next time. That's so, said Catherine apathetically. So are you also skipping school? I had to start the conversation in the most neutral way possible. Also, she looked at me, asked chance. Well, it's nothing new to me. I guess it isn't. Yeah, we're both delinquents. We're both bad kids. heard you went to the principal. Maybe I did. What of it? Alright, thanks. You're fucking great. The tone of her voice didn't change, but her eyes flashed. Katya? I don't want to start everything up again. Then don't. I'm not. Or was I? If you put yourself in my shoes, how would you be reacting? Would you be asking the same questions? What questions? Fine, I understand you're here because of your mother's work, but this particular school, why? What am I getting in your way? Catherine was sipping on her cocktail with an expression of absolute indifference. No, of course not. It's just, when I think about how we parted back then, that's all in the past. You don't really think that I should have chosen a different school or changed my life in any way just because of you, do you? Why'd I do that? Simply to avoid running into you again? That's not what I was thinking. She was right, actually. I had no comeback. But she was right only if she really didn't feel anything towards me now. Everything pointed to that being the case, but I just didn't want to believe that she was so cruel. So everything's alright? Of course. Then we could remain friends? A barely perceptible smirk appeared on Catherine's face. Do you want us to? Why not? The past is in the past, we have to move on, go on living. You sound like someone with PTSD. I thought I started to get worked up. It's all in the past for me as well, if that's what you mean. Is it? Good. Great! Turned away, pretending to study the menu. Was I supposed to get up and leave? That would be it. I'd have to forget all about her for certain. Damn it! Was I really still hoping for something? Every time Catherine hurt me more and more, but like a mindless gnat, I kept slamming into the window, as if I was trying to prove something to someone. In the course of this year and a half, I had become so accustomed to living with memories of her that now, when she was so close, I simply couldn't let go of her. These memories seemed like my only hope, the only thing holding me back from doing something foolish and fatal. Was I thinking of something specific? Unlikely. But I was hoping naturally. I see not wasting any time. Catherine gave me a surprised look. Nothing was worse than indifference, but as she got mad at me, I snatched the cocktail out of her hands and said snidely, "Getting an early start, are we?" As I raised the glass to my mouth, I heard Catherine's indifferent voice somewhere in the background. It's non-alcoholic. It really was. Oh, damn, you're not that much of a delinquent. What a shame. You're not cool, bro. I'm sorry. I set the glass back down on the counter. I mean, to be fair, you're drinking a beer, right? Didn't specifically say it's non-alcoholic, so I'm assuming it's alcoholic. You, on the other hand, have kept to your habits, I see. I'm rushing that hard, okay? We gotta start, the vodka in the baby bottle. You heard of, like, the, what is it, Mountain Dew mouth they have in, like, hillbillies? Like, hillbillies got? Well, we got vodka mouth. What do you mean? I shot over to the empty beer mug, which I had tried to move as far away as possible. That's the bartender. She's drinking on the job. Don't look at me. Damn it, bartender. It's been a rough day. Yeah, how so? I just got my ass kicked. You even made a comment about it, about me falling on the concrete multiple times. Okay, I needed to null the pain. I'm hurting both emotionally and physically right now. And alcohol is the best way to help with both. Maybe not the best way, but it helps with both. You really interested? Just keep the conversation, or would you rather that I ignored you? I sighed and answered. I was calling to the principal's office. Yep, same as always. Skipping school, well, you know me. Then there was a curious episode with a certain Ojo-sama. Your new girlfriend. Are you mocking me? No, just keeping the conversation. I told you, if I'm disturbing you, I can leave. I don't have a girlfriend. Nor have I ever. Add in a half whisper. I see. And how's Emetsu doing? If you're so interested, you could visit her and ask. I don't believe you've had a falling out with her. Maybe I will go see her. Catherine responded vaguely and glanced toward the entrance. Was she about to leave? Something stung in the inside. I wanted her to stay. You know she was going to mock me. Oh yeah, baby, bully me more. Emetsu is fine. I don't even know what else to tell you. Same as always, basically. Same as always, is she? She drawled. Are you surprised that someone can actually treat me normally? Of course not. I'm happy for her, Emetsu, and I'm definitely visit her if we get the chance, but now I need to go. She set the unfinished cocktail down on the counter and stood up. Alright, see you at school. Catherine nodded and left the bar. Dang, bro, you took a beating. Yeah, the emotions, I need more alcohol. Okay, they're starting to flood up and I don't need this. I need to kill those off as quickly as possible. Just like this sobriety. Don't even start. How about a drink on the house? Give me your largest. Did he want to make it up to me? No thanks, I think I've had enough for today. The list of poor decisions have already stacked up too much. I don't need to add another one on top of it. I left the bar and stretched. As expected, the bruises ached. In the past couple of days of my life resembled some dumb manga from Kyosuke's collection, and my encounters with Catherine felt more like a soap opera. A viscous, sticky, dark brew with a beginning but no end. How long was this going to go on? In less than a year, I was going to graduate, and then what? My dad's savings weren't going to last long. I need to get a job. Lots of higher education would cross my mind, but what skills did I possess? I don't want to toil intermittently, day after day, like the Japanese. Interminably? I think I said that right. Do you know there's even a special word in Japanese that means death from overwork? Is there? Questions, questions. Is there a word for that? Karoshi? K-A-R-O-S-H-I? Karoshi? Translated to overwork death, a Japanese term related to occupation related to sudden death. Damn. Sad that you need a word for something, that it must happen often enough. It was getting late. Is your backpack like still at the school? Like I imagine you have some kind of backpack, some kind of bag with your books and notebooks in it. That's still at the school? I've been wandering aimlessly around the city for a number of hours, occasionally stepping inside stores or just window shopping. I was killing time, killing it into the day of my life. It was completely dark by the time I arrived at my house. The lights were on inside. I immediately remembered yesterday's note, and a light shiver ran down my spine. Nah, that was ridiculous. An assassin waiting for a victim inside their house and the lights on? Still, logical or not, someone was obviously inside. Could be Himetsu. I carefully opened the door and saw women's shoes in the hallway. Oh my god. Himetsu! I should have guessed right away. Who else had any need of me? Hi. I said nonchalantly, entering the kitchen. Himetsu was sitting at a set table. She'd apparently been waiting for some time. Nico-kun, where you been? I was worried. If a moment ago I had been glad to see her, all that was out the window now. Not another interrogation. Now what happened to you? She jumped up from her chair when she noticed my black eye. Nothing serious. I ran into some robbers. Made short work of them, but one got me in the eye. Stop talking nonsense. You're not gonna call me out right away. You can at least believe me for like 30 seconds. It's not nonsense. You wanna see the police report? She patted him to calm down, having probably realized that I was fine. I asked Kyosuke-kun, and he said you weren't there for the last few classes. I wasn't one of it. I snapped back. Nothing, it's just so much has happened lately that I was worried. Why'd you worry about me? You think I was going to go drown myself? You would drown yourself in your beer. No, I didn't. Nothing much has happened anyway. I'm about to add, at least not to you, but stopped myself at the last second. After all, Himetsu had done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, she was looking at me expectantly. I had to tell her something. I debated whether I should mention Catherine. It's not like it's a secret or anything, right? We didn't do anything objectionable. Still, maybe Himetsu didn't want to know about this. I would probably say to see her with Catherine. I don't see the problem. I really don't see the problem, but I'm going to save like all decisions. That'd be this part.